All right, it is 7 o'clock, so I'm going to call to order the regular meeting for the District 59 Board of Education. Our secretary is not here at the moment, so I'll act as Secretary Pro Tem so we can get moving. So first roll call, Mr. Buchler,
Present.
Ms. Kitzinger,
Here.
Ms. Zach,
Present.
Ms. Notini,
Here.
Mr. Johnson here, and Lucas and Nikki are absent, but they'll be here. All right. So next we have a student recognition.
Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Galini. Starting tonight, we are very happy to begin a new tradition of recognizing outstanding student achievement in District 59. This recognition will open each board meeting that occurs during the school year. And I am very excited tonight to recognize Grove Junior High's Interact Club as the first recipients of this honor. I'll share a bit about their successes, ask a few questions of the group, then we'll award certificates of recognition, and they will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. This year, the Interact Club has gone above and beyond to make a real lasting impact on our community. Through leadership and dedication, the group organized Mac Madness, a macaroni and cheese drive, collecting nearly 4,000 boxes of macaroni and cheese for the Elk Grove Township Food Pantry. They also led a cleanup give back plastic bag drive, collecting an incredible 7,067 plastic bags that will be repurposed into benches in our community through Elk Grove Youth Services. Their service has reached far beyond our local community as well. The group packed around 50 care packages for troops overseas through Packing for Patriots and volunteered with Feed My Starving Children to help provide meals for children facing hunger around the world. In addition, the group organized a neighborhood forest initiative to provide free trees to students for Earth Day, supported Rotary in labeling and packing thousands of donated books for children in our district, and continue to give back within our school through various projects. Their compassion, teamwork, and leadership grow in truly inspiring ways. The work these students have done is not only impactful, it reflects the very best of who they are as individuals. And being recognized tonight by Dr. Galini and the board is an honor they have absolutely earned and one they will remember for years to come. There are many students in the Interact Club, and we are thankful to all of them. When I call your name, students, please step forward and receive your certificate. And audience, if you could please hold your applause until we've read all the names. Etzel, Amara, Kaylee, Linnea, Naomi, Olivia, Isabel, Allison, Charlie, Angelina, Sabrina, Yasna, Braden, and Maya. And also, Miss Adante is our Interact Club sponsor, and we have our staff from Grove Junior High here tonight as well. Can we please congratulate our outstanding staff and students? And now we have a few students who are going to do a quick Q&A session for us this evening. So Kaylee, would you come on up? What do you like most about Interact Club?
What I like most about Interact Club is that we get to directly help our community. It's less talking and more doing. We aren't just discussing problems, we're actually making a difference through events and service projects. It feels really rewarding to know that our work can help other people.
Thank you. Allie?
Interact lets us give back at a young age while also building friendships and school spirit. It's fun to work with people who all want to spread kindness and make the community better. I also love how welcoming the club is. And Miss Adante is a really great sponsor because she loves to encourage us, supports our ideas, and makes service fun for everyone.
Thank you, Allie. All right, Naomi? Please share, how did you get so many donations?
So we were able to collect so many donations because we advertised everywhere we could.
We had posters around the school, announcements, signs on the marquees, and we really worked to spread the word throughout the community. Everyone knew about the event and got excited about helping. Students were also really motivated by the competition and the goal we set. A lot of people wanted to help their grade level win and pie teachers in the face, but they also wanted to support neighbors, classmates, and families who may benefit from the food pantry. We all came together for a good cause.
Olivia and Charlie, what does it mean to you to participate in events like this?
Participating in an event like this shows how everybody works hard towards one common goal. It's amazing to see how many students and staff come together to help each other. It makes me so proud to be a part of something that has such a positive impact.
It proves what can happen when people work together to support one another. Even small contributions add up to something really big. We were honored to help our community and show that students can make a real difference.
And Isabel and Angelina, what message might you have for other students who want to give back to their community?
Our message to other students is to chase your dreams of giving back because every effort matters. You don't have to do something huge to make a difference. Even small acts of kindness can help people and inspire others.
There are so many ways to get involved in your community, like volunteering, helping out local charities, or joining service organizations. When people are determined to work together towards a goal, amazing things can happen.
I agree. Board of Education, Dr. Kalini, do you have any comments or questions for our Interact Club?
Well, thank you very much. It's very impressive. And I'm just curious, what's the gold chain and how did you get that?
After collecting all of these boxes, like all of the mac and cheese boxes, the Rotary that was from Elk Grove gifted it to us.
So it's to represent the winning class. So if she holds it up, it says Mac Madness Champion. So we're gonna actually write 6th grade on the back of this because 6th grade donated almost over 1,000 boxes alone. So they're their first official class to get on the Mac Madness.
Very nice.
I would just like to say congratulations and thanks so much. I think a theme that resonated in everything that you all said was giving back to your community. And this is truly a demonstration of that. So I just want to thank you for your perseverance and hard work and dedication, and also to your sponsor for going above and beyond to help Elk Grove kids. That's really meaningful. It means a lot to us.
And I know my Uncle Billy represents Elk Grove. Rory, did you want to say anything about?
You sound like Uncle Craig who calls me Uncle Billy. Actually, you guys said everything as it is already. I'm with the Elk Grove Rotary Club, been in it 30 years, and we sponsor the Interact Club. So we do support with a lot of money and activity and ideas. And it all comes down to really to Angela. If you don't have a good sponsor to be able at the school to get kids to get involved like this, it doesn't happen. So it really starts with her, but it also starts with the principal and the staff because they allow a club like this to happen. And that's what the Rotary Club is all about. And actually, it almost made me proud to hear each one of these kids almost say exactly what Rotary is. We're just good people doing good things. And to be able to pass it down and to have kids that are so encouraged. One of the other cool things that they did too that they didn't mention is we started an old-fashioned pen pal with a school in Veracruz, Mexico, Chapanitas. It's a small school. So actually twice this year, they sent letters back and forth, which I think is kind of neat because a lot of kids don't even know how to honestly write letters or anything to anybody. So actually write a letter to somebody, I think is kind of neat. So it's things like that, but it wouldn't happen with the great kids. And actually we just did on Monday, Chalk the Walk, where we brought a bunch of chalk and positive stuff on that. So there's a lot of things that they didn't even mention that this group is doing all year. So it did make me proud, but thank you, little TR, for letting me talk.
All right. Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, our students are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Whenever you're ready. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it.
I had one question. So out of all the cool things that you did, and I know there's so many, is there a favorite that someone has that wanted to share of what you like doing the best? Go ahead, Olivia.
I'd say the mathematics was my favorite because it was fun to advertise it. And with sixth grade winning and me being in sixth grade, I was actually one of the ones that got to pie a teacher in the face. And that was really, really fun.
Cool. Maybe we could do superintendent next year. Not to put you on the spot. We'll talk about it later. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
You can
Thank
you can all you and your families, you can head out. You don't have to.
Thank you so much.
And thank
Yep,
you to the
thanks for
families for supporting these kids as well. Thank you. And Elk Grove Rotary, Uncle Bill, great job. He's also my insurance agent. I get great service, so I know he does great with the Rotary. So thank you.
So much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Dante. Thank you.
All right. No, I got it. All right. So while they clear out, our next item is public comment. The first person we have here is Lisa Hagans from Organic Life.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Lisa Higgins. I'm the district manager for Organic Life. This is my assistant Julie Remahan, and my other assistant Inez Lopez. Organic Life has currently 54 food service professionals in your buildings daily. Out of that, 40 of us are alumni, parents, grandparents, and other family members of students in District 59. We would like to take the opportunity to give our heartfelt gratitude for working with District 59 is it's been an absolute privilege working this year with the community, with the superintendent, board members, parents, administrators that are really go all out for the students in the district. We want to do a special shout out to Stacy Manuel, who coordinates everything with the buildings and Organic Life, so we could do things like focus groups where we were able to introduce new fruits, vegetables, breakfast and lunch items this year. She also coordinated the upcoming parent focus group where we're going to do a tasting next week. So on behalf of Organic Life, we would like to say thank you for your trust and support, and have a happy and safe summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Does anybody else wish to address the board tonight? It's a family reunion.
I'm Craig Johnson, Mayor of Elk Grove Village, proud alumni of District 59. I've been before you, well, actually, not before you folks too much, but I've been before the board over the past few years. And all I can say first off is what a difference 3 years makes. Think about that. Not one of you were here a little over 3 years ago. And what a difference it's made. And I came because I came before asking for help, came for a little criticism, but I'm also here now tonight to thank you all. Because over the 3 years, the difference you folks have made have been immense, immense. You were not the board members that voted not to do the splitting of schools, but it was because some of you folks were running for office that they did change their mind and voted not to split the schools. And that, to this day, I say thank you. Splitting up our grade schools would not have worked. We have a community-based school district, and you don't want to split families and kids halfway through junior high or grade school. And you folks were the impetus, the old board, not to do it, and I thank you for that. Next, I'd like to thank you for the SRO program. The SRO was near and dear to us. We were talking earlier, Dr. Galani and I. 6 years ago, we thought about it. It was Trustee Schmidt, who was a former police chief, and myself were sitting in my car talking, and we came up with the idea, and I brought it to the district board, and they were very slow, very hesitant, not very encompassing of the idea. But you folks have taken it, especially I know Dr. Galani, and you guys are putting it on steroids. And I thank you for that, because it can make a difference. And it is making a difference. And I thank you very much for listening to people and instituting what they want to hear and see. And I greatly appreciate that. And the biggest reason I'm here to thank you tonight is your choice of superintendent. Dr. Galani is a breath of fresh air that was sorely needed, instilled here in the district at your work and efforts. I had lunch with him about a month ago, and I asked him, what's your goal as superintendent? Math, science, reading, what a breath of fresh air, actually teaching the young people the skills to succeed in life. It's great to see that priority back in focus again at a school district. And I cannot thank you enough for hiring a gentleman that's going to instill what a school should be. Many other things are important, but that's a basic core of education. And I thank this board for doing that. And it means a lot. And just so you know, he has reached out to me more in the past month than your previous superintendent did in 5 years. We never heard a word. We've built a long relationship with District 59. Elk Grove makes up the majority of schools. Elk Grove is the tax base for it, and Elk Grove is instrumental in its success. I'm not talking about government, I'm talking about the village as a whole. You know, there's other towns, but Elk Grove is a key cog. And we've always had in the past a great working relationship together between the village and the district. That was lost, and I'm glad to see it's coming back already. And again, that would not have happened if you folks didn't make the choice you made. So I'm here tonight to, one, say thank you for doing what you promised you would when you ran for office, which is seldom happens with elected officials, unfortunately. Two, stepping up and doing the right thing, putting the kids and the families first in your choices made. And I congratulate you for that. And as a mayor of a town is only as good as its base. And education is the base of any town. And you folks have done a magnificent job of getting this district back on course, getting the right people in place to make it continue to happen, and more importantly, making Elk Grove proud of District 59 once again. So I came tonight to thank you all. I appreciate what you've done. This community thanks you more than I think you're ever going to realize. One thing that happens to you, Mayor, everyone chirps in your ear. If I go to Jewel, go to McDonald's, 50 people say stuff. And now it's pleasant to hear them talking so happily and proudly of 59. That was something that was missing for a number of years. And I thank you for that. And Doctor, I wish you nothing but the best. You're someone that I think is going to lead this district in the right direction, help make Oak Grove Village a stronger community, as well as the other communities that are part of District 59. And I cannot thank you enough for everything you're doing and your way you started off here. And I'm excited about what's going to happen. So again, I will criticize at times, but I also will realize that when people make success, they should be rewarded or congratulated for it. So tonight, on behalf of Elk Grove Village, I say thank each and one of you for a job well done, and keep up the great work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to address the board tonight? If not, we can.
But before we go on, I just want to thank the mayor in particular for his support of our SRO program. We just had a committee meeting, Mayor, and the number of positive things that people had to say about the impact that the officers are having in all of our schools. It's tremendous, and we're so thankful that you're able to partner with us to provide that support to our schools. So thank you. We really appreciate it.
Ryan, thank you. And also thank you for no shot clock anymore. I appreciate it. You should hear from your constituents, not cut them off. Thank you.
All right, next we have our consent agenda. It's items 4.01 through 4.07. If I could get a motion to approve.
So moved. I'll second.
Moved and second. Any questions, comments? If Secretary Eddie can call the roll.
Ms. Notini?
Aye.
Mr. Chesney?
Yes.
He's absent. Okay, sorry. Mr. Buckler?
Aye.
Ms. Sack?
Aye.
Ms. Eddy? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
And Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
And then do we have anybody, I know sometimes we have do we have anybody we want to recognize in?
Yes. Yes, we do. Thank you, TR. We'd like to recognize 3 new employees to the district who we are very excited about. Not necessarily new employees, one of them is, but they're moving into new roles. We have an assistant superintendent of innovation and IT, Mr. Ben Gray, and he has a director of technology position on his team, which we're very happy and pleased to welcome Mr. Dimitri and Andremeski. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sir, welcome to the district. We're very proud that you're here and know that you're going to do great things for our kids here in the district. Also, our pleasure. Also, we have a promotion. We had an assistant principal vacancy at Juliet Low because we have a very strong assistant principal at Juliet Low who's stepping into the principalship at the early DLC, Nicole Maluski, who I believe is here. I saw her, or she was here a moment ago. And we have at Juliet Low, we have Miss Haley Little, who is moving into the role of assistant principal at Juliet Low. So not only is this exciting for her, but it's also a testament of the work that we're doing to build leadership density in our own district and for promote from within. So thank you for being here. Thank you for staying the course, and thank you for rising to the occasion of being an assistant principal. And I have to tell you, you are working with a fabulous, fabulous principal, Principal Smith at Juliet Low, who is truly embodies a strong, strong leader who cares and puts kids first. And also, we had some movement on our multilingual team, and we have Miss Edie Kubicek, who is moving into the role of multilingual coordinator. I'm not sure if she is here. She's not here, but it is a new role for her, though she's been in the district as Dr. Perdomo moves into Executive Director of Instruction. So a couple of shifts, only one external, and we welcome you very much, but also we're really pleased. And that's one of our goals in our strategic plan, is to promote from within as we grow our own leaders. So welcome aboard. We're happy to have you in the new role.
Thank you, Dr. Galini. We can move on. We're actually going to go into closed session for a little bit and then come back out to the regular board meeting. If I could have a motion to go into closed session for items A through F listed on the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Moved and second. If we could have a roll call, please.
Mr. Buckler?
Aye.
Ms. Sack?
Aye.
Ms. Eddy? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
Ms. Notini? Mr. Chesney? Absent.
All right, we'll come back into open session in probably 30 minutes. Okay, 20, 30 minutes. Thank you. All right, we are back in open session. Next item, we have our public hearing for our e-learning plan.
Yes, so last month we held a discussion about the e-learning renewal process. With that process, it's a compliance process through the Regional Office of Education, and today we are required to have a public hearing. So we can open it up to that.
Thank you. Do we have to open the public hearing? All right. Yes, here it is. Okay, so if I could get a motion to open the public hearing for the e-learning plan renewal?
So moved. I'll second.
All right, if we could just do a voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. It is what time?
8:08.
Right?
All right, does anybody have any feedback or would like to address the board regarding our e-learning plan? Okay. Do we have to wait a set amount of time?
I don't think so.
Can I make
think so.
just a comment or
Sure,
ask a question
Sure.
about this? I mean, I'm guessing the idea is that this is out there so the community, like, you know, parents are aware and they come here tonight to voice any concerns. I mean, have we advertised this at all? That this was other than just in the meeting that was posted? I have this question for the any public, for like the tax levy, like just a general question. I hope that we will start. If we haven't been, I hope we'll start.
Yes, there were requirements of communicating this. So we sent an email out to all families on May 1st, Friday, May 1st.
Okay.
The same day, a notification went to all staff in our insider. And then we also had this posted in the Journal and Topics, which went out on April 29th. And that was a requirement too, that it's posted in a local paper.
Okay, great. So it was
Yes,
communicated. It wasn't like an
pushed out.
Instagram post necessarily.
No,
That's
this
kind of boring, but
yeah, I don't think this would fit on our social media accounts per se. We
very
like to
riveting.
keep those to other content, so
Okay.
this is why it was sent out via email and other.
okay, no,
avenues.
that's great.
Mhm.
So I don't know that was always true before you were here, Rachel. I don't know. I just know that I remember the tax levy hearings, like nobody was here, and
Right.
you know.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if we have nothing else, if I could get a motion to close the e-learning public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the hearing is closed. Thank you.
Okay, so then next month we will just come back and seek the board's approval so that we can then file it with our Regional Office of Education. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 7.1, we have our NSSEO tentative budget for 2027.
So we have two presentations. I'm going to ask Ben to help me with the summarized presentation and not the whole thing. That's a 31-page detail which talks about NSSEO. So I'm going to briefly talk about NSSEO, but we'll talk about our programs. So as a background, we are one of the partners. We are part of the stockholders of NSSEO with along other surrounding school district. And NSSEO charges us based on our participation. So the first page just gives the breakdown. Our representation is at multi-level. Board representation from one of our board members who's been fairly active, and I've seen him at meetings, finance committee meetings, on the governing board. Our superintendent has attended the board meeting, and superintendents are now the decision-making group. And then we have representation from the instructional area. Elizabeth has been present, and I go on the finance committee meetings. So briefly, this is the background for NSSEO. On the next slide, I won't go line by line. I just wanted to give you some information about. So usually I focus on the numbers. And when you look at special education cost and when they're going up, you have to look at if it's because of our enrollment growth or their cost. So when you see the fees going up, a line item going up in 10, 15%, and if their costs are going 4 or 5%, then it has to be enrollment. So their cost range is anywhere from 2% something to less than 5%. If you look at those program tuition costs, and those numbers you see in the blue column with shaded blue are relatively very reasonable for special education program. Later on, you'll see our participation, but right now this is NSSEO. Then the same programs for non-member school districts who do not participate in terms of paying a lot of other costs which member school districts pay, they pay a surcharge. And they also have a lower priority when it comes to open space because we as stockholders have the first right to place our kids there. So if you look at the second, the lower half, and in my very first meeting, I think I complimented Elizabeth for running a very efficient special education program. Those are services you can buy if you want. If you want to buy services for OTPT from NSSEO, they have a senior staff. So their costs are significantly higher, like in the 100,000 plus. We employ our own speech therapists, we employ our own OTPT, and it's okay to use NSSEO for an increment where you need them. So having our own employee base employed by the school district has been a prudent decision by the past board and administration. So in some cases, the line item has gone up significantly. Part of it could be is if school districts hire less senior OTPT from NSSEO staff, then their average cost goes up. So you can't blame them also. So that's the cost if we use those services. And you'll see later on, we hardly use the a la carte services on a purchase service basis. Next slide. This is the total program participation in NSSEO. And later on, I'll talk about detail what our share is in the next few slides. But as you can see, majority of the participants are member school district. And in the next slide, you'll see that there are only member school districts in the program because they may not be big enough to accommodate that. So you can move that. And I'm covering a lot more because I want to be focusing on our program. So you will see after this slide, it's more specific to our participation. So you'll see School District 59, our enrollment for the last 3 years. When a base is like close to about 20, and if you have a growth of 3 students, that's a 15% increase. And then if the cost is going up 4 or 5%, and if you see a 20% cost increase, we cannot say NSSEO's cost has gone up 20%. We need to work in partnership. Our enrollment growth is based on services required by our kids, and the school district has always made sure that we provide the best services and take care of the needs of our students in the community. So our participation in NSSEO is close to about 54, projected to be 54 students. When it comes to budget, I'm going to allow for some growth, just like you saw. We started at 48, we ended up for 51. So then the next page is going to be the budget. So it's looking at those numbers. We're not going to put the numbers what they expect to be getting based on the existing enrollment of close to about $4 million of budget. I'm going to make provisions in the budget for a few more students. And that's the number they want us to budget. Upon completion of this board meeting, I think later on you'll be doing a resolution, signing some documents. And this is just like an extra step. I've not seen other special education co-op do it, that we have been informed what the budget is, what the estimates are, what the enrollment cost is. And we just sign those documents to confirm in form of a resolution. And later on, there will be an action item. I'm willing to answer any questions on special education. I worked for a special education co-op for about 9 years. And I must say that we've had good relationship with them my years. And I know Elizabeth has also worked very well with them.
I have a question just about just capital projects or just building, building facilitation. I did attend one NSSCO meeting last year when Lucas was out, and I mean, it just I think it's pretty clear that some of their facilities need a lot of work. And again, I know we have sounds like a pretty small percentage of the students of the schools, but like, are we being asked to participate in any, or do they have a plan, like a capital improvements plan?
Well, first of all, some of the buildings you may be visiting are owned by member school districts, and they may be used as landlords, okay? Like.
Minor school, I think,
yes,
right? Isn't that owned by
exactly.
Arlington Heights?
That's owned by 25.
Yeah,
school
but does that
districts.
limit like their ability to make changes or?
Well, as they are tenants, but minor is doing some renovation, and NSSU is going to be participating and contributing towards that renovation also.
That was mostly my question. Like,
Exactly.
do we have an opportunity to contribute?
I'll tell you, we are doing it. So it's based on the enrollment participation, not the enrollment participation of our special ed students. There are costs which are charged, some costs which are charged based on percent of the total. So if we have 66,000 students or 5,800 students, and if there are 15,000 students in the co-op, we could be paying 1/3. So there are some assessments which are based on regular ed enrollment, some on special ed enrollment, and some on program participation.
Okay.
And NSSC also got a DCOE grant. Those are usually available to special ed co-ops where a lot of legislatures use their allocation, and instead of giving it to one school district, $1 million, 5 or 6 legislatures served by the area school districts would give it to a special ed co-op.
Okay, so it is underway. The capital campaign is underway.
Right.
Okay,
right.
great.
Any other questions?
Sorry, thanks, Melissa. I'm sure Luke, if we do ask Lucas, he'll know as well. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 8.01, monthly updates from Dr. Galini.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. I think this is week 6 or a little bit longer than that, and it's really been absolutely wonderful. And I say that because of the team that I get to work with right here, our team of assistant superintendents or cabinet members, as well as the leadership and teachers across all of the schools. It's been an incredible 6+ weeks. Spending time to give you a brief update of the state of the district. I would say we're living in 2 worlds right now. One, our teachers are driving hard to deliver good instruction till the very last day of school. That's been evident both in conversations with principals, but as I walk campuses. So out and about all the time. Just today was in 4 of our schools, and walking with our principals, connecting with them, meeting teachers, meeting kids, and everyone is focused and doing the work that they need to do. And that is not often seen the last 2 weeks of school. So that huge shout out to our teachers who really do the heavy lift every day, and to our leaders who support them. As I said, we've been living in 2 worlds. We're really unpacking, we're finishing strong, but at the same time, we're talking about goals and directions as we move into next year so that we hit the ground running with a clear and aligned focus on what we're doing as a school district. And that's really to deliver high quality instruction and a high performance culture. And we've been developing principles. We had meetings with principals just this week. We had a principal meeting. We've met with assistant principals to build leadership density and just provide that clarity so that everyone in this district that is employed here knows the direction that we're going in, and all support and development that we do is going to be aligned to providing high quality instruction around the core subject areas and social and emotional learning, as well as preparing students for what is yet to come in the world, which we're learning as we go. Again, I can't give our team thanks enough. It's been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I'm very excited that my team gets to share out the work that we've been doing. Our cabinet is very productive, focused, and structured. We're getting more efficient with each week, but we're able to do the strategic planning for the district and how we operate every Monday. And so that's really been great, as everyone is really stepping up to the plate and embracing me and some new ways of thinking as we move forward. The strategic plan refresh, which we've mentioned here at the board before, is moving along very, very well. We've been laser sharp focus on refreshing the plan, which already had good bones and fulfilled its purpose, but in a message that I sent out, just really needed to be updated with some fresh language, some new goals about what we are prioritizing as a district. And we have presented that plan to the Board of Education in draft form and asked for feedback. We did the same for our principals. We sent out a survey to our staff and parent community, and we received over 858 responses, which I think is really impressive. We're low on the parent side, but that's only because it just went out the day before yesterday, and we anticipate more responses coming in our communications department. We'll push that out again if we don't see an increase. While at the same time, we think it's important to kind of take our show on the road, and so we are going out and about next week to grow friendship in homes, to offer listening sessions to parents, teachers, or any community members who are interested in hearing about the plan moving forward. But the main questions, which I think is really important to note and stamp here, is that we believe that a focus on high quality instruction, the execution of strong grade level content and curriculum for our students in every classroom is paramount to the work that we do. And then also doing it in a high performing culture where everyone believes in the mission, everyone's mission, vision aligned, and the work that we're doing is moving students forward toward grade level mastery of standards. And the feedback that we received in the survey is aligned to that as well, which is great. And so just to give you some quotes, nearly 80% of respondents agree that they rated it a 10, which was the highest, that high quality instruction is important to them. And 71% said that high performance culture is as well. And also goal 4 is using taxpayer dollars responsibly, and is in our strategic plan as well. And overwhelmingly, 61% rated that as paramount to them as well. And so we're excited to continue to engage with as many people as we can so that we're very clear. And when I talk about the word alignment, so our strategic plan in 59 is actually going to be real. So often in districts, it's another document that is often misaligned to the goals of the superintendent or the goals of the Board of Education. And so we really seized the moment of being able to start earlier. And so we looked at the data, we looked at where we were, we went through the full planning process of a strategic plan refresh, and at the same time paired that with the goals of the district, share that with the Board of Education, which I know is focused as well on academics and providing the support that students need to thrive. So we are, and as we share that with teachers, we're in lockstep. Our teachers, our leaders, our cabinet, and our Board of Education are all working for the same thing. That is a focus on student achievement and a focus on the culture of our buildings. And we will, as we finish, wrap up, make adjustments, we'll launch that as soon as teachers get back. So the strategic plan is actually a living, working, real document that we are able to tag all of the work, all of the development that we are working on too. And so we will meet our goals. And our KPIs are easily, I would say they're easily understood, and they're grounded in student achievement. And that's really the focus of a school district, in my opinion, as well as being good, using taxpayer dollars responsibly. We enjoy having an abundance of resources, and with that comes a serious commitment to live within our means. So we're committed to delivering a balanced budget and also being ensuring that our schools are resource rich, but also that we are not overspending taxpayer dollars. And when those opportunities occur, we can turn some of that money back. So very happy of the work that the team is doing around the strategic plan. I will continue my remarks, but through the cabinet who really is supporting to do the heavy lift. And I'm absolutely very proud of them. So I'll turn it over to Tom, who's going to talk about assessment, accountability, and professional learning in the district.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Galini. Yes, as we talk about the strategic plan refresh, assessment and accountability really fall under strategic plan goal 1, high quality instruction. And we are in the midst of the benchmarking period. Week 2, we're getting really close to closing it out, and we do have some preliminary data looking at our achievement data. And you'll notice this is a shift. In the past, we've talked a lot about the KPI being connected to the percentile piece. Now we're talking about student achievement, and we're talking about on and above grade level. In the fall, at the start of the year, the beginning of the year, we were at 13% in reading. Our most recent, really this afternoon, we were at 33% in reading. And for math, at the beginning of the year, we were at 9%, and this afternoon, we were at 31%. We still have a number of students to test. We appreciate and really like that growth. We're proud of that growth, but we still have a long way to grow and a lot of room for improvement. And we'll be focusing on that improvement next year. And really, it ties really nicely into that goal statement for goal 1 about providing every student with high quality instruction every single day. So we're proud of that, yet we've got a lot of room to grow, and we'll be working on that next year. When we talk about professional learning, we are working on our summer professional learning plan, again, aligned to goals 2, high performance culture, and goal 4, stewardship of resources. So we're fortunate we have resources to offer regularly, a lot of summer professional learning, a chance to grow and develop our staff. Yet at the same time, we want to align that to high quality instruction and a high performance culture. That schedule will be done and in the Insider by next Friday. I know staff often are looking forward to those opportunities throughout the summer. And speaking of opportunities to grow our staff, we have some grant funds that in August would expire. So we're going to use those funds to send some principals and assistant principals to Harvard this summer to participate in a couple different sessions. Interestingly, you have to apply. You can't just go, even though you have to pay for it. So one of our groups has applied and been approved, and another group that their application is in the review process. We fully expect that they will be approved, but we're excited to send that group off this summer. Again, what's really nice is we're using grant funds and not our local funds to be able to pay for the registration and all the travel costs. So we're looking forward to that this summer. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mosin.
Wait, if they want to theme that to Legally Blonde, I would not be mad to also have Ben go and document that, or Rachel.
We'll make sure that's in the, they have to do homework as part of the process too. We'll make sure that's in the homework.
Actually, Dr. Galini, you have some experience with that program, so you know it's going to be relevant, right?
I've gone 5 summers in a row, and it's not only aligned to the work that we're doing here about building strong culture, supporting teachers, how to grow our schools to be the very best they can, and that's delivering results for kids. But it's also an opportunity to collaborate with leaders from all across the world. I went as a principal, and I was sitting next to a principal from Tasmania and a principal from El Paso, not quite as exotic as Tasmania, but it was really the opportunity to network and learn really great things that I was able to bring back to my school. And if we have the opportunity to do it, essentially for free, I think it speaks to our commitment to building our leaders, but also supporting our bench of rising leaders. And that's important too. And in our strategic plan, which is to build leadership density. So we're looking at our assistant principals as our rising leaders, and we want to pour into them as much as possible. Next time, I hope we're here having this conversation about teacher leaders, because that is our next group of rising leaders too, who often do a heavy lift on their campus as well.
Thank you. Before I get into the presentation mode, I'd like to recognize Stacy Emanuel. She is in charge for our food service program from start to finish. She's here first thing in the morning to make sure the breakfast program goes well. She never leaves till everything in lunch, everything is done, and make sure everything is taken care of as far as state reporting is concerned. So thank you for being here.
Let's get her out of here so she can get up early.
In order to prepare students to be successful for life, we as a district are committed to delivering the strongest high quality meal options to our kids. At the board meeting, at the last board meeting, there was a discussion on food service. Within one day, and I work 2 days a week, so I found out that Organic Life people are already meeting Dr. Galini in the morning, and they worked out a plan in terms of parent-guardian listening and tasting at multiple campuses. I was impressed that it went so fast. So thank you for taking care of some of the things we should be doing. But as an outcome of that meeting and expectation for a parent-guardian listening and tasting session that will occur in May, as well as the focus group which we have had in place for a while, this would be the channel which will provide feedback so we can continue to improve on our food service program. Our objective is to provide nutritious, well-balanced meal with an expectation they're tasty meals. And when you take care of the nutritional needs of the kids, it shows in the student performance also. So once again, thank you for providing the opportunity for us to select Organic Life, which was really not the low bidding process, but a quality-based selection process. Thank you. And I'll be willing to answer any questions in terms of how we have notified for focus group and anything on the food for service program. Thank you.
Okay, curriculum and instruction. So we've been very busy getting our instructional planning ready for next year, aligned to the strategic plan refresh. So we're taking deliberate steps right now and into the summer to simplify our systems, to strengthen alignment for our teachers, and to make daily planning more manageable for them. Curriculum documents are being redesigned to be more streamlined and user-friendly. We'll have clear pacing guidance, we'll remove non-essential lessons and assessments, and we'll clearly identify those daily learning objectives for our teachers. So what that looks like is that when a teacher opens the curriculum platform up or the teacher guide, they're seeing 10, 20 different things they could do in a given day, right? And so that adds to their plate of which decisions am I making here? What should I be teaching? We're removing that off of our teachers' plates, and we're extracting the most important pieces of that unit, of those lessons, and we're providing them with the learning objectives. So example, in third grade, the learning objective might be students will be able to identify the central message and the key details of a given text. We'll give them that text. They'll know exactly what is important to teach that day, and they'll have a clear target for themselves. So they won't have to guess. It'll already be there for them, taking those decisions off of their plate so they can focus in on what's most important. These changes are going to reduce planning time, increase instructional clarity, and really allow our teachers to focus on what matters. In addition, the K-5 monolingual Spanish and Spanish dual language literacy curriculum maps are being aligned so that they're identifying common standards that are similar in each unit. So our teachers will have that consistency, that cohesion across programs and classrooms, and be able to plan together and look at student data and student outcomes together, no matter what programs our students are in. We're also developing interim assessments in grades 3 through 8 in reading, math, and science. Those assessments are going to provide our teachers with very timely and actionable results to guide their instruction without requiring them to develop those assessments on their own. These assessments will be easy for teachers to use, easy for students to take, and the data is going to be there so that our teachers can make those instructional improvements in real time. We're super excited to add that to our comprehensive assessment system while taking out other assessments that haven't proven to be so useful. So we're not adding more, we're taking things out and adding more meaningful pieces to our programs. And finally, we're going to be updating our current CCSD59 instructional framework to align with our strategic plan, with our goals of high quality instruction and a high performance culture. We'll maintain that continuity, though, with those existing practices that have already been developed. This work is designed to create that coherence across schools, to provide teachers with clearer expectations and supports, and also to make instructional planning and delivery more efficient and sustainable across our system. And just finally, our emphasis is on strong core instruction, because we know the greatest impact on student success happens daily in those classrooms with the teacher working with students. And so we know interventions and our digital tool practice times are very important for students, but what we know gives us our biggest bang for the buck is that high quality tier 1 core instruction with our teachers. That's our most powerful investment, and that's where we're spending our time and making our priorities. So alignment, clarity, ease of use, those are our key words in the instruction department, so we can be ready for our teachers and students in the fall.
Dr. Robinson, can I just ask you a question about the interim assessments? Do we expect those to be ready for next school year?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We are busy developing those now, and we'll through the summer, and then on a rolling basis so that they're ready for teachers prior to their unit.
So they can learn how to
implementation.
use them? Do you expect them to be digital, paper, or combination?
They will be digital. We'll be using a digital platform that we've been looking at a couple of different resources this spring, using with a few of our teacher groups in elementary and in junior highs. So we're getting some feedback from our teachers, from our students as well, looking at what each platform can provide us, and then we'll choose one.
Great.
Okay.
If I could just add to that a little bit. So the purpose of the interim assessments is to actually test students less. And so as we do this, we're going through each content area, and we're looking at quizzes, unit assessments, module assessments, and thinking that these aren't really necessary as long as we are providing interim assessments on a cadence of about every 6 weeks. That will give us timely information. And the purpose for doing the assessments online is that we'll get that data in real time. So if we're testing a group of standards, and we'll know that day how we're doing. Also worth noting is that I do want to address the piece around digital resources, period. As a superintendent, I receive a lot of communication from families about digital resources. And I think it's worth noting that we do need to do a digital resource reset because there is a time for digital resources. And I think that's what Dr. Robinson was getting to when she said an emphasis on core instruction. There is a time for digital resource. However, it is in support of, not in lieu of, strong quality instruction by the teacher. That is something that a program will never take the place of. And so we know where we're winning, and we also know where we have to reset. And I think it's worth naming that we do have to reset how we're using digital resources in the classroom, that they should be a very finite period of time, not part of the core instruction, period, when the teacher is teaching. So they will live in harmony together, but the teachers will still be the most important person in the room, and intervention and supports will not be replaced by a teacher. I'm sorry, by a digital resource. So it's worth saying it's an issue. It's an issue. I don't want to pretend it's not. It's an issue, and we've got great teams. We've got great teachers that need the support and the guidance so we can get this back on track. And we're committed to getting it back on track because we've got great teachers and good kids. And so we will deliver on that.
And is it fair to say that the use of iReady will be kind of figured into all of this?
Yes, and thank you for mentioning that. And I want to use this opportunity to those in the room and also those who may be watching to, I think, provide a bit more clarity on iReady. It's a huge topic. I receive probably about 10 emails a day about it, and understandably, because it is somewhat confusing. So Tom had shared with you benchmarking data. So there's a benchmarking system. Every district uses one where we take a beginning of year assessment, middle of year assessment, end of year assessment, and we use a platform for that. There are many of them: iReady, NWEA Map, the district has selected iReady. And there really is an issue with iReady. And my assumption is that parents and teachers don't have an issue with that portion of iReady. It gives you a set of standards or skills that students are excelling in where they're deficient. And that can inform instruction if used timely. However, what is causing, I think, the most noise, understandably, is this arm of iReady, which is called the personalized pathway. And that is where it's an adaptive program where if a student is below grade level, it will take them down and ideally bring them back up. And that is what we need to do the reset on, is the personalized pathway, because quite frankly, I think we're not utilizing it as it is intended to be used, and we'll support our teachers so that we can do a reset on that.
I know in some cases, grades are given for the iReady My Path, so it's something we want to get as well.
Point taken. Thank you. And just lastly, before we move on, we are absolutely committed. If you were to come here during the day, you would see the coaches, the teams under the direction of Dr. Robinson and Susan Savage really digging into the work. I popped into multiple rooms today, and what they're doing is, we say we want to support teachers, but many districts often fall short there. And what we're doing is we're removing all of the fluff that teachers have to sift through to figure out what is this lesson getting at, and we're doing that for the teacher. So if a teacher opens our resource documents, they'll be a lot easier to get to and use. I struggled to find out where some of them were, but it will be much more user-friendly, and it'll be very clear. Today's Monday. We're working on the main idea. Your North Star third grade teacher is to lead students toward independent mastery, to pick up a passage, a book, and figure out the main idea of that passage, nothing else. And often in some of our curricular resources, there are 4 and 5 objectives for the day, and that's nearly impossible for students to master. And I think the data that we have shows that we need to do something. So to change our outcomes, we know we've got great teachers, we know we've got great kids, we've got great leaders. It's the system of delivery. And so that's what we're going to work on and adjust for the upcoming school year. And I'm confident that our teams will excel with that, and we'll take feedback throughout the course of the year, and we'll get better each and every time. We've also put together a data team, pulling folks from different departments to create those interim assessments. But what we're teaching in District 59 are the standards, the state standards. And previously, I think with the best of intention, we wanted to provide strong instructional resources for our dual language and our monolingual classes, but it's created a bit of confusion where a small school, a principal has told me, I want to be an instructional leader, but I feel like I'm running 2 schools because I've got one section teaching this program, one grade classroom teaching another program. I simply can't do it all. So we're beginning to align the standards. So for a 6-week period of time, everyone is focusing on, let's say, main idea, author's purpose, author's point of view, regardless of the language. So it's really curriculum agnostic, and it's really about standards. And so that gives opportunity for dual language teachers and monolingual teachers to work together in teams, regardless of how many sections there are per grade, which I think is a big win for our district. And that's really, when I use the word alignment, that's what I mean.
And I think it's great to have those documents for teachers, especially if it's a new teacher, there's something that they could go to, or if we have a sub. I know I've talked with our curriculum department about it, I think last summer we met. So just to have that available in one place.
Yeah, and easy to use and find. And we're also going to offer an option for those who may not feel comfortable digging into the computer for everything, me being one of them, to be able to bind that curriculum. So you can open up the guide and it tells you, here's what the learning objective is for that day. And it will also help our principals who have a number of classrooms and grades to go into so that they are aware of the learning objective for that day, so that they can give aligned support to that teacher. And so that, we all know what's going on in every classroom. It shouldn't be a mystery. And certainly teachers shouldn't have to spend their time dissecting a teacher's guide to figure out. I tried it in one of our resources. It took me about 15 minutes to find out what the objective was. And that is time better spent intellectually prepping of the learning objective so that we can deliver great instruction for our kids.
And there is no perfect curriculum. Right?
No.
There's always some flaw or something that's missing. It's not touching on a standard. So I'm glad you guys are doing that work.
Yeah, we joke around here. We say, that we're teaching the standards. The curriculum is just resources that we're pulling. We say that the dog wags the tail doesn't wag the dog, right? And the teachers are really the ones manipulating it and delivering it in the best way that they can.
Dr. Glaney, can I just, I may be jumping ahead here, but once the interim assessments are out there, what if we find that there's many classrooms where a majority of the students are well below grade level or above level? Like a majority, like it's not just a few that can be pulled out for intervention. What if we're finding, wow, like 75% of our students are below grade level?
Right. And I think that's true, and that that may absolutely happen. And I think we need to go back, and we're doing this work already in preparation for next year. We're looking at our instructional model and how we deliver instruction. And if a student sits for what I call the first teach, which is the very first time that a teacher is introducing a concept or a skill, they give an exit ticket, let's say, and that's much more meaningful than an end of week unit quiz or a module assessment. If I'm teaching main idea today and I'm a teacher, I need to know today how my students, did they master main idea or did they not? And if they did not, we have a period called WIN, an intervention period. That's what we call it in math. We call it something else in reading. We're going to streamline that. But, and that is an opportunity for the teacher to reteach that standard that day. So that really lessens the ability for a student to get through without us capturing them and reteaching the skill or the standard. Now, also, we have interventionists that two things can happen at the same time. So if a student is well below grade level, we're not going to stop exposing them to grade level curriculum, because then we're only going to grow our own achievement gap. So if a student is far below grade level, we will expose them to grade level curriculum and content in the core subject area. And then we'll use that intervention time or our interventionist to remediate or accelerate, I like that word better than remediate, accelerate that learning around those foundational skills. But what we absolutely cannot do is remove students, regardless of where they are, from grade level core instruction, or we will perpetuate our own achievement gap in the district. And we've got a plan. The team is working in lockstep to make sure that that doesn't happen, and how we plan out intentional professional development for our teachers so that they can do that with ease. And we'll monitor and adjust throughout the course of the year. And there'll be some hiccups along the way, I'm sure. But we're in a very good place curriculum-wise, very excited for the change. And we teased it a little bit with our principals at the principal meeting yesterday. And it was well received, and we're excited to get this work in front of teachers so that they can see it and give us feedback as well.
I want to thank you for doing that. I work in a district that does tease out all the, material that just you don't need to continue to grow with the standards. And it is so much easier. And now you're using the resources appropriately. You now have leads or leaders that can help, talking about the instructional coaches that can help those teachers even more focus on those core, those first teaches, the first learns. So.
And I rarely get the microphone. So I do want to say that our leaders, we are moving in a new direction of how we look at instructional leadership as a principal. And I see the role of principal and assistant principal as not only the lead learners, but the lead instructional people on campus. And all of our principals are really stepping up and leaning into the work to be the true instructional leaders. Yes, we have district coaches, and they're wonderful and doing great work. But the campus principal is the lead instructional person on campus, and I'm very proud of them for stepping up to the plate and rising to the occasion. We have a commitment to our kids, and we will absolutely deliver on that commitment.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate all your hard work and everything you've done. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to tell you about some of the happenings in the HR world. First and foremost, last Thursday, we had a really lovely event honoring our staff members. We celebrated years of service for 25 milestone, 30th milestone, and 35 years milestone, along with a special presentation of our retiree awards. We had more participants this year attend than any other year since we've opened this building. We had over 70 guests and staff members. We had the DA there supporting a lot of our building administrators, Dr. Galini, and also a number of board members. So thank you for being there. It was a really wonderful night of connecting with old friends and colleagues, great food. Thank you, Tasty Catering in Elk Grove. And also some wonderful stories that we learned about some of our soon-to-be retirees. Our 26-27 staffing plan is a priority in the HR department, and we are doing better than ever. Our candidate pools are filled with highly qualified staff. We are a destination district, and we are capitalizing on those efforts. We have already hired 20 highly qualified individuals to fill certified roles. We have 5 offers out right now. Please send those in tomorrow. And I'm also happy to report that a number of those hires are from our newly re-established pipelines of student teachers and our partnerships with universities. We also have 15 student teachers signed up for the fall, which is the highest we've had in one semester in a very long time. So kudos to our new Educator Network facilitators. We have 8 open positions right now. Some of those will still come and go, but we're doing really well with certified. We've hired 3 ESP positions for school office positions, all promotions, and the majority of the teaching assistant positions will come a little later in the summer when we get closer to the start date. And then for administrative and non-negotiated, we have already hired 7 positions. You met a number of those this evening. Again, some individuals from other districts who are looking forward to coming to 59, but also hiring internally as we build our bench. So very excited about that. Finally, we value our staff incredibly, and we are very proud of our benefit package, which is also a strong recruiting and retainment tool. We are currently in open enrollment. It goes through May 22nd. Staff should be getting emails and text message reminders. If you need any help with that system, please reach out to HR. We want to make sure you're taking advantage of exactly what you need so that you don't have to worry about those things and you can focus on our high quality instruction at school. Thank you.
Communications. So strategic plan, the communications department is continuing efforts to ensure our audiences are aware of the refresh and the opportunities they have to provide feedback. So additional reminders, including a notification in this month's newsletter, which will go out this Friday, and social media posts will be shared. Parent Square, we are finalizing that contract. Once it's signed, we'll be able to officially onboard and sync with Skyward, which is super exciting. In terms of training our staff, depending on the timeline for that, we'll train building leaders and office staff either ahead of the new or ahead of the end of the school year, or if timing doesn't work out for that, we'll offer a professional development session in the summer. Either way, Parent Square is very user-friendly. It's very intuitive, which is one of the reasons why we chose it, as you know. So we're confident that we'll have a strong rollout from a school and district standpoint at the beginning of the next school year. Graduation, they are right around the corner. I can't believe it's already here, but new this year, we will be live streaming it on our District 59 Facebook page. It is a no frills, but it is cost-effective way to provide families and friends the opportunity to view the sessions, or the graduations, I should say, if they can't make it in person. So we'll be sharing those details with junior high families via email and then also posting on our Facebook page. On the note of social media, if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, you will know that we are really increasing the amount that we are posting We've continually done that, but we're really ramping it up through the end of the school year on our Facebook, Instagram, and Instagram stories. And that's just because our staff is doing a really amazing job giving it all they got through the end of the year. Our students are very engaged in instruction and learning, so we want to continue spotlighting that. But we will also be doing we have like 2 fun graduation videos that we're planning to film on graduation nights with our 8th graders. And then we're planning our summer series that will really give behind the scenes look at how our staff is preparing for the new school year. And then we'll be doing a big countdown for back to school that will involve our administrators and different departments across the Ed Center. So lots of exciting things coming up. And then also on the social media front, lots of socials tonight. Last week in the Board Weekly, I shared a proposal for a board-focused social media series. This is really a way to increase visibility and accessibility of the board and its decisions through short videos on Facebook and Instagram. So this ties directly to our goal 4 of the Strategic Communications Plan, and of course that ladders back up to the district strategic plan. So I look forward to feedback from you all if this is something that you are on board with and would like to do.
Yes, sure. Sounds great.
Thank you, Ryan. Great. And lastly, District 59, as you know, has a really strong and built out special education program that we are incredibly proud of. So I really want to give a big shout out to the Juliet Lowe team and Brandon from my team. I think they're in the back. But they did an incredible video story highlighting Talker Wednesday and Thursday, which was part of Juliet Lowe's celebration of Disability Awareness Month. It was just really incredible to see the power of every student voice. So if you have not seen it, I encourage you to go to the district website under the news section or visit our Instagram and Facebook to view it. Thank you.
All right. In student services and support, our updates tonight are largely focused on safety and community outreach. Earlier tonight, the Safety and Discipline Committee met for the second time this year. We completed our School Resource Officer Program review, which highlighted many improvements and progress of the program over the last year. This committee is comprised of staff, administration, and family members from each of our schools and our SRO teammates. So we really appreciate those who contributed. All voices are essential in making sure that we are setting appropriate goals for the upcoming year and the work ahead. Second, our community outreach team is currently working hard to collect and redistribute food items to families prior to the end of the school year. And they are also collecting backpacks for our back to school events in August. It seems early, but we always start very early. Last year, we gave out over 2,000 backpacks at our 2 events, thanks to the generosity of our community. And we hope to do the same this August to ensure that all students are ready and excited to learn on day 1. We've partnered with the communication team as well to enhance our building signs and have 2 projects in motion for next year. The first project is creating decals for all exterior doors that say Police Protected Building, which demonstrates our police partnerships at all of our buildings. The second came out of a previous board conversation around the procedures that we have in place in District 59 to respond to agencies or individuals requesting access to students or their records. The All Are Welcome sign will indicate that visitors must check in using our visitor management system, that student information is protected, and that student and information access is governed by policy and by law. That information will be available at the front entrances of our schools. And finally, we have now completed all of our annual safety review meetings. Those meetings take place with principals, police departments, and fire departments after our annual requirements are completed for the school year so that feedback on safety procedures can be shared. Our safety drills are very successful, but we are always looking to make our practices even stronger. And so we're appreciative of the partnerships with our first responders. We're very proud and grateful for all of our community partnerships. And next we'll hear from Ben Gray.
Katie, when you talked about the backpacks, I couldn't help but think about Mrs. Adante and her students. I know it's summer, but I mean, any thing that comes up, they're fantastic. So
Agreed. It's incredible to see, and that's representative of our community. Whenever we ask for something for our kids, we always receive, and are really appreciative that we live in a community that's willing to give.
This is a very fun game of pass the microphone that we have. Anybody else want to ask a question of Katie just because it was fun to see it go back? No? Okay. Well, first I need to share my excitement in sharing so many updates that I get 2 slides. So that's how much you get to hear from me tonight. You're welcome. So in the department that I oversee, technology and innovation, this evening I want to focus specifically on innovation and the work we're doing in that area. So last month, we talked about the LRC framework and the 2040 competencies. While that work is taking place within the LRC, it is also an area that we want to look to embed into the core curriculum. You heard from Dr. Gleany about digital resources. Now, I do want to clarify that when we're talking about a specific set of time for digital resources, we're speaking specifically about digital practice resources like iReady. When we look at digital resources as a whole, things like creativity, things like Google Vids, when students are creating videos to demonstrate their learning, when they're using Seesaw to create artifacts that they can share with families, when they're using Google Slides, all of those pieces where they're being more creative with their digital resources, that's outside of that conversation. So we're looking to embed those across the curriculum in meaningful ways that will amplify student opportunity. Now, with the 2040 competencies, I want to distinguish that these pieces do not transplant or they don't supplant, I should say, the core curriculum. We're not looking to exchange our core curriculum for these 2040 competencies. These are happening in partnership together. They support each other and build us toward the goal of making our students ready for their future. I told you last month we picked 2040 because our current kindergartners are graduating in 2038, which is difficult to process, but that is the reality of numbers and math and such. So when we look at the 2040 competencies, we're working to build these out. Again, speaking of technology, you'll notice on that list of 6, this is our current draft list, technology is 6th. We don't want to put it in its incorrect place. We don't want to say we're leading with technology. The appropriate place for that is after the other important skills are being developed. So I want to look or show you how these are different than what you may have seen in the past with such competencies. So number 1 is decision intelligence and smart thinking, we're calling that. That's usually what you would think of as critical thinking. And in the discussion we had this afternoon, thinking about these competencies, the question was asked, well, is smart thinking and decision intelligence, why not just use critical thinking? Because that's what everyone knows. Because critical thinking is usually the evaluation process. Smart thinking is the process of making decisions. And so we want to expand. Critical thinking is a portion of smart thinking, but it's not the whole of it. We want to expand and think bigger than the areas that have typically been considered those future ready type skills. So I want to give you an example of the draft we have right now for smart thinking and give you the descriptor in just one of the specific skills. So we have decision intelligence is making a good choice is a skill you can practice. And I love that part of the phrase because it is making good choices. It's a skill you can practice. You can get better at it. And our focus is for students to think clearly even when things are confusing. We live in a world right now that seems to enjoy confusing us, I think, in a lot of cases, especially online. There's a lot of information that isn't always reliable. And so we want students to develop that ability to think and use smart thinking. So one of the key skills is avoiding brain traps. And what we say here is that sometimes our brains play tricks on us, like only believing things that agree with what we already think. And you'll notice the language here is different than a lot of cases when we're using education language that can become confusing for families. We worked very hard on this in the strategic plan as well to make it accessible and easily understood and readable by families, by students. We don't want this to be laden with education speak that is confusing or difficult for people to understand. So in this case, when we're thinking about building students
that think well and make good decisions, I think that's such a key important part of their future. And so we're developing out these competencies in that same way, where each of these, where for problem solving, which would be typically that, we're thinking bigger, like systems thinking, seeing the big picture. For human skills, that's emotional intelligence, that's like resilience, that's thinking about your own thinking, that's empathy. It's those skills that we can help as people help each other and support each other. Business and financial literacy, I think that's an area that is not focused on enough in education. I don't think we do enough to support our students in their development of things like, how do you develop a business plan? And I understand you're thinking, how did kindergartner understand business plans? But I think kindergartners do things like lemonade stands, like things like they do some very creative, they have creative opportunities to be able to build an age appropriate way to think of how do I manage projects? How do I think of money? And as we move into students and our older students, how do we budget? How do we think of money in a way that would, again, help me as I get older and as I start to have to be responsible for things like a house, for things like decisions financially. These are just a really, really important set of skills for us to develop specifically. AI literacy. We know AI is an important part of our life today. And regardless of feelings, and it does draw out some strong emotions, what we're thinking of it is we want to use AI in a smart way that amplifies our thinking, amplifies our learning potential, and amplifies our students' potential as they go out into a workforce where others will know how to use and leverage AI to advance themselves. Our students are going to be competing against those students for jobs. And are we teaching our kids what good AI use looks like and how to use it in a really productive way? And then finally is technology. Again, I think we have prioritized that in the right place to be sixth. We want students to understand how to use technology in a productive way. So these are our current drafts of our competencies. We'll continue to build those out. We'll continue to build the key skills. And we want to look at where those embed within our curriculum in a very natural way. So this has been an absolute cross-functional experience and work we've done with the instruction department, and we'll continue building those out as they said they've been doing with the core curriculum. Slide 1 is done. Any questions about these? Okay. 2 other updates to provide. One is Ridge innovation work. We're working right now with Ridge to identify and create a collective identity with Ridge staff. So we celebrate the fact that we have a school of choice, that we are fortunate to have a school that families can choose. We want to work to develop out that specific identity of why would families choose Ridge beyond, we know we have a unique calendar, but we want to develop more specific areas that make Ridge unique and create an identity for them. So last week and this week, I worked with the staff, we'll work again with them next week to start to draw out what is that core identity statement that we can share with families, we can celebrate, we can advertise, we can tell people what is the promise that Ridge presents to families as the experience that their students will have and they as a family will have at Ridge. And then we want to look to draw in families starting next school year to show and to bring families along as part of this journey to say, what is Ridge's unique identity? What elements of Ridge will you expect and will you get to have that is unique in that school that we don't have in our other schools? And we're focusing on innovation, but specifically looking at that future ready student. Ridge will be a high-performing school that will continue to be a high-performing school that will be in the DNA of the school. But what are those other areas where we can innovate and do unique creative things in that building? So more work to come. I'll share with the board the feedback we've gotten from the group as part of our sessions, as well as the slides that we've worked through. And I'm happy to provide any information you'd like about that work. It's very exciting. It's been a wonderful conversation with the staff there and just a lot of energy around this work, as you can imagine. So very positive. Finally, the new line
Ben,
interact.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
can I
yep.
just chime in there on the Ridge?
You can.
Are we looking at the history of Ridge at all? Because I know that there was a lot of things about Ridge that were different before and they've kind of evolved out. Are we looking back just to see if any of that's relevant?
Yeah, so today, our conversation today, why I think today was so powerful was we were working to create this collective identity of Ridge, because we said we want to acknowledge what Ridge was when it first opened, but we don't want to map back to trying to create or replicate what used to be for the sake of saying we just want to be what we used to be. We want to identify what is the compelling case that we have moving forward to prepare kids for their future. And if those things that we did in the past map and support that, then that will be something we will look to incorporate. But if we weren't to create this collective identity, we would be doing things just to do things different. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to just do random things to feel like, yeah, we did something different. We really want to create that future focus. And then if it's something from the past that works and supports, absolutely. But if it's something we realize that was more of kind of a legacy experience, let's look at something new and moves us forward. And again, the staff was very in favor and fully in line with that and aligned with that. Other questions about the Ridge piece before I finish up? All right, the new line interactive flat panel displays. These displays are 86-inch flat panel displays that are interactive, which means that you plug your computer in and you can actually interact with it. It's like a tablet. It's actually kind of funny because when you start up the device, it says your tablet is starting. Like, that's the biggest tablet I've ever seen, 86 inches, but it's running a version of a tablet software, but it allows you to plug in your computer and then you can navigate your device from the display, but you also have a pen you can write on, you can annotate, teachers can highlight, they can show how you would write in the margins on a passage. You can do math on it. There's so many opportunities you have to make teaching more engaging for students and more interactive. And it's a bright display. So right now our projectors are getting a little bit older and they're not throwing as much light as they used to. And so in a classroom, sometimes it gets more difficult to see and you have to dim the lights a little bit, not optimal for the learning conditions. So these displays, very bright. You can have full lights on, you can still see very well. We are beginning to roll this out with 45 boards at the start. This is Title I funded, which is also a celebration, similar to what Mr. Ludloff shared with the Harvard experience. We're not using local funds, so this is title funds, grant funds for us, and it's allowing us to start with some grades 3-5 and some ELA and math, junior high. When these first 45 boards are deployed, we're looking when our next round of allocations come for Title I, we're looking to expand that out. And our goal is for next year to be able to provide all classrooms in grades 3-5. I guess that's my timer. I guess I'm, okay, I understand. I knew I was going to talk a long time. Junior high, ELA, and math classes, all of those classes, that's our goal for this first round. Then we want to look for the following year to expand that to ultimately, we would like these in all of our classrooms, all of our instructional classrooms is the goal. So we have one of these in the building we're using for testing. If you ever want to see one, there's one, it sometimes is in Dr. Gleany's office for meetings, sometimes in these meetings, or sometimes in these meeting spaces. Take some time, come check it out. It's very cool. And we're excited to see what this is going to mean in our classrooms, especially again, because it's grant funded. What a great use of the technology to be able to enhance the experience for our kids.
Ben, can I just ask how this is different than a smart board?
Yeah, so similar to a smart board, it's just like a name. It's like, Kleenex or Xerox, or it's a name of it's an interactive board. So in these cases, actually the price is nice. These are some of the more economically friendly boards, but we have one at Brentwood. We have the one here, and we found that they work very well, very effective. So it's similar to what smart boards were. It's kind of the next evolution of the smart board. So you could think of it that way, just a different brand and a little different. These will all be on carts too, I should say that. So you can move them between classrooms. They're on they're like movable, approved for classroom use carts. So if a teacher doesn't want to have that be the front of the classroom all the time, they can move the cart over. We're not taking the projectors out right now. We're keeping them there, but teachers can move and reorient their rooms, which also makes it nice for the flexibility of what they have.
Will there be eventually more than just in the classroom? Because I'm thinking about like co-teaching or things like that, where, you know, you could be doing parallel teaching on two ends of the classroom if you have, you know, more. Is that something that will eventually be looked at?
It will be looked at, yes, and it depends on the Title I funding of how quickly we can get everything deployed, but
Definitely.
yes, absolutely.
I think two things worth mentioning also is when we say grades 3 to 5 and grades 6 to 8 were ELA and math, we're not excluding our self-contained special ed classes there either. So they will be included within this group. And also if you were to visit some of our schools, as Ben said, there's a projector. It's very much like this, but it's dim and teachers often have to turn the lights off, not optimal, right, for teaching and learning, but also it's connected to a computer, which is often on a teacher's desk. So you see that the board is here, the teacher's desk is here, and they're often tethered to their desk. And so it just creates a kind of an awkward experience for the teacher who has to move over here to put something under the doc cam, what have you, where they can just pull up let's say they create a presentation on the slide deck, they could pull it up right on the screen, they could write right on it, you could solve math problems right on it. Think of I'm thinking chalkboard, which has evolved to, in my lifetime, a whiteboard. Think of it as a virtual whiteboard that you can literally erase with the palm of your hand and pick up the pen and keep writing on it. So I think it will enhance the learning experience for our students.
So when they have like a slide that they're presenting, they're not editing the slide on the smartboard. It's just writing over whatever.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
So you could use your finger, you could use a pen, you could really use anything. You can circle, you can annotate. If you're modeling how to annotate a text, you can do it right there on the board. You're writing right on it. You can erase, you can flip to the next page. You can, if you're giving students, a minute and a half to solve a math problem, it has the functionality to have a timer on there. It's super user friendly and is a great experience for kids. And also we can turn the lights back on in classrooms because it's really tough.
Yeah, these are really impressive. They're huge. Whenever there are teachers that are comfortable on these things next year, I would love it if we could come watch a teacher on a day when they're really using one of these flat panel displays so we can kind of see the capacity that they have for improving instruction.
Yeah, and Ben's working on a comprehensive training program as well. We don't want to just roll them in and not provide the support for our staff. So there'll be multiple opportunities for training as well.
Write us when you're ready. We would really like to see them.
Good. Is that the last one?
Yes.
All right.
I think we're done. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We can move on to our action items. We have first 9.01, which is the approval of our food service contract for next school year. If I could get a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any other questions, comments? Now if we could have a vote.
Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
Ms. Notini?
Aye.
Mr. Chesney, absent. Mr. Buckler?
Aye.
Ms. Sack?
Aye.
Ms. Eddy? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye. All right, motion approved. Next, we have 9.02, setting the student meal fees for the 26-27 school year at, what was it?
$3.
$3.55 for lunch and $1.30 for breakfast with the reduced prices listed there. If we can get a motion to approve those.
So moved.
I'll second.
All right. Moved in second. Any questions?
Yes, really quickly, is there a cap on this? Or do we just keep increasing 10 cents per year?
That's required.
That is the minimum you can increase. Actually, our authorization and encouragement is to do much more. But if we say flat or no increase, they require us to do at least 10 cents more.
No, I'm just wondering if is there do you have to wait until the new contract to get a new price basically? Because theoretically every single year you're increasing by 10 cents, which I realize
Yeah.
is the minimum, but
Because that's the minimum we should be doing based on the regulation. They encourage us to do much more than that. And we have been hesitant about passing through the cost.
so I think the question is like, eventually when it gets to $10, do we get to start over? Or like, is it just going to keep increasing by 10% forever and ever? Amen.
We have discretion to do much more. And I think in the next couple of years, we'll have to look at a lot of things in terms of revenue generation. This will be one of the line items because this is for people who can afford to pay more.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to charge people more for lunch. Is there like a cap where they're like, okay, you're at $7 for lunch per student. Do you get to
Or
start?
the other way around?
Yeah.
No, because the legislation says at least 10 cents. I'm sure if it's at 70 cents or $7, the inflation rate would be much different. And I don't expect that to be at $7 in the near future. But really, the push is really on the other side that entities which are getting subsidies from government need to look at increasing the price beyond the 10 cents we are increasing every year. This is really the push.
So do other districts charge a lot more for lunch?
Yes.
Okay. So we're keeping it low.
Yeah, for
We're choosing to
adults
do
as
that.
well as students.
I mean, that's the best deal in town. I mean,
Yes.
$3.55.
Any other questions? All right, if you have a vote.
Ms. Notini? Aye. Mr. Chesney, absent. Mr. Bookler?
Aye.
Ms. Zach?
Aye.
Miss Eddy? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
All right, resolution passes. 9.03, we have the renewal for the refuse recycling service in the amount annual cost of $89,975.76. If I could get a motion to approve.
So moved. I'll second.
Moved in second. Any questions? Comments? Not, we could have a roll call vote.
Mr. Bookler?
Aye.
Ms. Zach?
Aye.
Miss Eddy? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
Ms. Notini?
Aye.
Mr. Chesney, absent.
All right, motion passes. We have 9.04, the NSSEO budget adoption for the 26-27 school year that was presented earlier this evening.
I'll make the motion.
Open that
am I
up
not
real
supposed
quick. All right, we have to do this first one, right?
Oh.
Motion? So this
Sorry.
one is for,
It's the same resolution. One is drafted by us, by our board, but we also have to sign the NSSEO resolution also.
on both of them?
Yeah,
Okay, so
we need to
first,
sign both.
so first is ours? This is ours?
Yes.
Yes, you're right. Okay. So if I could get a motion to approve our resolution in the amount of $3,966,664 for an SSEO.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? If not, if you have a roll call vote.
Ms. Zach?
Aye.
Miss Eddy? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
Ms. Notini?
Aye.
Mr. Chesney, absent. Mr. Bookler?
Aye.
All right, the motion is approved. And then secondly, we have the NSSEO resolution.
I don't have. two. Yeah, I think it's just the one.
Just one.
Oh,
yeah.
one for both? Okay. All right. So 9.05 is the approval of the health and dental insurance renewal for the 26-27 school year as outlined below. If I can get a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? Now we can do a roll call vote.
Miss Eddy? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
Ms. Notini?
Aye.
Mr. Chesney, absent. Mr. Bookler?
Aye.
Miss Zach?
Aye.
All right, motion's approved. 9.06, we have our bid for seal coating for various schools. So this is for Denler, right?
Yes.
In the amount of $69,463.60. If we could get a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any questions? Okay, vote please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
Ms. Notini?
Aye.
Mr. Chesney absent. Mr. Bookler?
Aye.
Ms. Zach?
Aye.
Miss Eddy? Aye.
All right, motion is approved. Next, we have a donation to Byrd Elementary School. So this is a $1,000 donation to Byrd Elementary School from Elk Grove Village Post 9284 to fund student incentives that support school-wide attendance efforts and encourage positive behavior. You have a motion to approve?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Moved and second. You get a vote, please?
Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
Ms. Notini?
Aye.
Mr. Chesney absent. Mr. Bookler?
Aye.
Ms. Zach?
Aye.
Miss Eddy? Aye. And Mr. Johnson?
Aye. All right, motion passes. Thank you very much. Next, we have a resolution for a Salt Creek donation. So this is a $500 donation to Salt Creek Elementary School from Lori and David Miller to support student school lunches, which we always thank them for. Need a motion to approve that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. If we could have a vote, please.
Ms. Notini?
Aye.
Mr. Chesney absent. Mr. Bookler?
Aye.
Miss Zach?
Aye.
Miss Eddy? Aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Kitzinger?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. Item, so 10.01, the determination of the serious safety hazards related to student transport.
So every year we are required. Thank you. Every year we are required to determine the safety hazard. So this is a routine requirement. And once authorized, we will do the safety hazard evaluation in the district and get back to the board. Then the board takes formal action. And this is just to get approved for reimbursement under the safety hazard transportation services.
Can I ask if this has anything to do with like crossing guards? Because that subject has come up a lot over the years, understanding what schools do or don't have them.
So crossing guard are to mitigate hazard.
Mhm.
If you don't have crossing guard and kids are coming from the other side of Gulf Road, for example,
Mhm.
then you are transporting them. And if they are less than 1.5 mile, we don't get reimbursed unless we classify that crossing as a safety hazard. And it's not like we classify it. There is a DOT, Department of Transportation, point system based on the traffic volume, speed, and number of lanes that gets qualified. And once that qualify, we transport all the students free, even if they're less than 1.5 mile.
So these don't really change year to year because we're not.
They can change if there's a bridge. I'll give you an example. In Hinsdale, for many years, nobody was doing the safety hazard. And 83 had a bridge, passenger bridge over 83. And the state came and said, "As you guys, this is not approved hazard anymore because they're not crossing 83 anymore." So we want to make sure that there is no refund in areas which was previously hazard and is no longer an hazard. Or it could be the other way around. It could be a 2-lane road and now it's 4-lane with higher speed limits.
So just going back to the crossing guard thing, I think at Holmes Junior High, Gulf Road, there's a light, there's a traffic light at, I think it's at Gulf and Meyer, but there's no crossing guard. And I think that became kind of a concern earlier this school year when the buses were not running very well and a lot more kids were crossing. And, I shared a lot of emails back and forth with Dr. Bresnahan on that. Is that something that we're regularly looking at?
Yes, and essentially in terms of crossing guard, if we're providing, crossing guard is a cheaper option to mitigate. But if we have a failing bus company which is not providing, then at least that should be one of the options to mitigate the hazard.
Mm-hmm. We didn't do it, by the way, but I mean, we're past it now, probably. But it was just, those were questions that were asked at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep asking.
I'm fairly optimistic. I'm counting. It's 12 and a half days.
Yeah, we're almost, that's a good countdown to have, yeah.
But So that we're prepared for next year, how do we go about obtaining more crossing guards where they're needed or where they're being requested?
So that is part of the hazardous crossing. Either you can put a crossing guard or provide free transportation. We have.
So the district makes that decision, right?
The district makes the decision, and I'll tell you, it's preference for the parents is also to provide transportation rather than crossing guards. The cheaper option is crossing guards, but I'm sure nobody wants to take any chances with elementary kids.
Yeah.
Walking slightly less than mile and a half. And high school would be a different story. Middle school also slightly different, but it's easier for us and it's safer for our kids to be on the bus than walking with crossing guards, because I mean, most of the time the reliability is there, but you could have absence and you wouldn't know till the very end.
Right. Also, people just don't pay attention to crossing guards, so pay more attention.
Well, but
Because it's dangerous out there.
This is the conversation that would have been nice, that we didn't know all this information. We didn't know the difference between a crossing guard or paying for the bus. Like, that was kind of the choice that we have. So that open honesty is like really great to have. So we are informed board members to, I guess, not fight back on things that we don't need to fight on.
So our objective is to really look at the evaluation on a regular basis, but the board always has to approve hazardous crossing because we want to make sure we have that on our record for claims.
Is there a way we can just look at where that stands, like right now, like that, like all of these intersections have been evaluated and this is what I just would like to see that rather than sending an email like, why don't we have a crossing guard here, or,
So that's the whole objective of getting this done from scratch. Mary in the transportation office is going to look at all the areas. And even if they were not, and if we find out there is a different traffic pattern, she has a fairly good map of where the kids are and where the schools are. And intention is to get it done this summer.
Great news.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Molson, I've also asked in the past if we could look at the placement of the bus stops relative to where our students are. I know that changes every year, just to make sure it's equitable. So if we could-
Definitely. And we've already had this discussion.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
All right, 10.02, the appointment of school treasurer. We do that, next meeting?
That is going to be Greg Wolin next year. And usually it's always the CSBO. This year, based on my schedule, Janet volunteered. And one of the things, the documents you're going to be signing is an application for bonding. And our expectation is to have everything in place in a timely manner by July 1st. If there's a snafu, at least it's not me, so you don't need to worry about it. Janet is the treasurer, but everything should go smoothly.
Just while we have this up, I think I'll ask this question. Is there any reason to have this be somewhat independent of the business officer?
It is you're an accountant, so it's separation
I'm
of
always
duty.
thinking like that.
And really, if you go back in our history in Cook County, 59, 54, 15, all of us had a township school treasurer. That was not controlled by the board. It was a different entity, local government entity. And many school districts had a referendum and made it part of the school district. There is one provision in the law which most school districts are usually in violation. And I told Greg that he has to have a deemed reimbursement compensation. It's deemed like for $1. And there was a situation where one school district failed to have that language. Many school districts don't have that language. And there was a lawsuit filed by one of the former board members. And the bottom line is we are making sure there is a deemed provision for compensation in the language when you approve it. And it is a desirable thing to have a treasurer as part of the Board of Education, because you're controlling the treasurer and the treasurer reports to the board.
Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
All right. School treasurer bond, I think you just covered that. School safety and security enhancements.
Our safety team keeps track of any possible safety and security enhancements that come from recommendations from previous safety audits, from feedback from our building staff, or feedback from our first responders. And the safety team recently convened to prioritize both short-term and long-term security projects. And we recommend moving forward with the installation of environmental sensors in all of our junior high school restrooms. Our strategy to prevent substance use is comprehensive and it's focused on student well-being, but it can be enhanced further. We already utilize proactive educational approaches, discipline, and behavioral supports and partnerships. Triton's environmental sensors are monitoring tools designed to enhance health and safety by detecting the presence of vapor and other chemical substances and alerting administration so that schools can respond immediately to keep kids safe. The sensors use technology to deter and detect prohibited substance use and reinforces our commitment to a safe and drug-free school environment. Our district, like others across the nation, are facing challenges with vaping, and overall our incidents are very few, but we take the possession and use of prohibited substances extremely seriously. And it's essential that we maintain a safe learning environment for every student so that they can focus on learning. Installing environmental sensors would be an additional proactive step that we can take. It has an estimated initial cost of $51,428 and a yearly fee of $4,988. And we are bringing that forward tonight for board discussion.
Is that 51,000 for all 3 junior highs?
Yes.
Okay. And these are essentially like smoke detectors for vapes.
Yes.
Okay. Can you walk through what would happen? Let's say this sensor is triggered. What happens?
When the sensor is triggered, there is software that our administrators would have access to that would alert them. So they would receive an alert that could be on their desktop. They could also put it on their phone if they chose. And then they would immediately respond to that location. So it uses our camera systems and building maps to know exactly which sensor is being triggered and allows them to go directly to that location at that time. It also signals our camera systems. So it is not a camera system, but works with our camera system. So it would capture the hallway cameras and potential students entering and exiting the bathroom.
Are students going to be informed that these will be installed, or will it be a surprise for them?
They will be informed. We would want there to be a very transparent process, and that would be part of the deterrence.
Do you have any idea what they look like, or are they like just like a smoke detector, or
They actually kind of look like the small projectors we see on the ceilings of classrooms.
Okay.
And some of them have a protective case around them.
Do they make a noise at all, like a smoke detector would?
I don't believe so. I think it's a digital alert system.
Okay. So there still may be an investigation, because I'm guessing that
there would have to
be,
be, right? So this would just alert us that vapor has been detected. That doesn't confirm what has occurred or, any of the information with students. So we would still follow our regular disciplinary investigation procedures before taking action.
So when these have been triggered, I'm assuming that other school districts obviously use these. We're talking like vapes, cigarette, like any kind of smoke, or is there like anything else that triggers this?
Any chemical substance.
Chemical substances, okay.
Or hairspray? Like,
I'd have to ask about that.
Aerosol cans are not allowed in the school, I don't think. No Aquanet for all of us.
The sensors that we are proposing, really because they are far superior to the competitors on the market, also detect things like aggression, extreme noises. So if there's vandalism in the bathroom, it could alert to that. So there are many benefits to having this particular system. The reason we're looking into it is truly to combat vaping, but we think we would benefit from all of those functions as well.
Could you send us like a link or whatever
Yes.
you're saying? Could you put it in like our board weekly or something? Thank you.
Can do.
So when you say it triggers aggression, that's like a student speaking aggressively, like volume, essentially.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Katie.
So the website does say that it cannot be tricked by deodorants or cleaning sprays, just so you know.
I think this is great. This is excellent.
All right, so 10.5, the 10-year health life safety survey.
Thank you. The 10-year life safety survey is a comprehensive survey which is done by our architects and engineers. This survey is required by the state of Illinois through the services of the regional office. And their findings, usually when they give us a comprehensive report, gives us things which we need to take care of immediately, things which need to be taken care of in the short run, like long run, and things which would be nice to have. Most school districts have not addressed nice to have because usually that's like the long-term facility plan. The immediate ones, which in our school district I expect to be very limited and will be taken care of because we do that all the time. We don't want to leave any safety hazard in our school district. Albert and his team is very proactive, so I don't expect much out of that aspect of it. So in addition to engaging them, obviously there was also a component on pricing. The standard fee, it's an industry standard, it's 20 cents. Every year it goes up, just like when you're talking about 10 cents for food. And so we were not willing to pay them whatever the standard rate is. Our target was at least to reduce it by at least 25%. And that meant 50,000. We were able to accomplish much more than that thanks to bundling some of that with an additional project with the safety committee where they needed some work done. And the architect had estimated that work to be approximately 52,000. That was building, renumbering, emergency mapping project. And they're not going to charge that 52,000 plus they're going to give us an additional 10,000 a break on the pricing. So we were able to accomplish a target. The second component was civil engineering cost. Their original proposal is 82.5. They've given us a second proposal. We told them we are not going to take it to the board for approval till we get it, and we put some pressure. They called a couple of hours ago and have made some additional reduction to 66,000, like 4,500 per building. And although it's not there, I'm going to, if I have discretion, I'd like to add that because we can get the process rolling and move about. While I'm talking about negotiations, I compliment Katie for getting the vape sensors, which were originally estimated at 70,000. And she negotiated that to 51,000.
Go, excellent.
So we're looking at everything, and there is no such thing as non-negotiable.
So I have a question. So we had that WOLD study, for more long-range planning. Does any of that cover any of this stuff, or is that more broad?
That is the big picture. They will have access to this information. Now we have 3 architects used by the school district. One of them is relatively inactive, Leggett, and some of the reasons for it. And but we always want leverage, so we'll have multiple architects in the district. And for life safety, Arcon has an extensive history, so we are using them. When it comes to project, we'll be still negotiating, and depending on what the terms and conditions are, obviously we'll not compromise on quality, but we will make sure that nobody feels like they are entitled to our business, that there will be negotiations on everything.
Can we see the report that was done? So was this report done 10 years ago? Is that the last time?
Yes.
I'd really like to see that one. And
I'm sure Albert has the digital copy, and we'll share that with Dr. Galini and make sure we take care of your request.
It's very enlightening to know that there is a law that says every 10 years we have to do this. I wasn't aware of that. And I was watching, I think the bond we still have on the books, isn't it a health, life, safety bond that was drawn up based on the results of that last report?
There is, so essentially, health, life, safety actually started many years ago when there was a private school which had a fire, and there were some kids who got killed in the fire. And life safety only applies to public schools, but it's really a very comprehensive process. In the good old days before the tax cap legislation, this was a additional money schools were getting outside the tax rate limit. But since the tax cap, it's part of our regular restricted levy. But just recently, last year, the state, because there are some schools who can't fix buildings, I've approved doing life safety bonds without referendum. We are not proposing that, just for your information.
Yeah, I think that's what happened last time. But I just be curious to see the last report we did, the work we have done, and then like, where are we at now?
Fine.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
We'll have that.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mosin. Next, 11.01, we have as part of our board reorganization. I think it's defaulted to 2 years for the different terms of office, but we've typically adjusted that to 1 year. So I think next year is an election year anyway, so 1 year would kind of make sense again. So if we could get a motion to determine the length of office for board president, vice president, secretary to 1 year.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Any questions, comments, debate? If not, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, 1 year. Next, establishment of stipend for the Board of Education secretary. Sorry.
But didn't we talk last time that we can just take this out because it's zero and like, I feel like
if we're not
I
gonna-
feel like
yeah,
we
you're not
talked.
gonna-
No,
okay.
I know, but I feel like we talked about not even needing to put this in there.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
we can,
care.
We
I
can
don't
skip
know.
it. Yeah, sorry, you're not getting paid anything.
Unless you want to negotiate like Mosin and Katie.
The board does not act on this resolution, so.
Oh.
Okay.
So do I have to?
I don't know if we
No.
legally have to acknowledge that or.
We can skip it.
Okay.
All right, so 11.03, nomination and election of a president.
I'll nominate Mr. T.R. Johnson to continue in his role. He's done a fantastic job. If he's
thank you.
interested.
A second.
Moved in second. Any other nominations?
For other.
No, for
president.
president.
I can't get there. Hold on.
Let me know when you're ready.
Well, we could all say aye.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I'll stay right here. The next, we have nomination and election of a vice president. Are you caught up, Nikki?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, do we have any nominations for vice president?
I would like to nominate Nicole Kitzinger as our next board vice president.
And I'll second.
Any other nominations? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, congratulations, Nicole.
Thank you, Michelle, for
Thanks, Michelle.
doing
Yes,
that
thank you,
past year.
Michelle.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Happy to do it. Thank you.
Next, we have, I think, board secretary.
I'd like to nominate Nikki Eddy to continue her excellent work for another year.
And I'll
No one
second.
understands it anyway. We get a second? Any other nominations? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Nikki, congratulations.
Thanks.
11.06, we have to set the time, dates, and locations for our regular meetings for the next 12 months. Those are noted somewhere. There they are. So essentially, same Wednesday, second Wednesday of every month, except a couple instances with conflicts.
Are there any holidays here? I know
So
sometimes that
November
comes up.
11th, but you did, Maribel did mention this to me. So November 11th is Veterans Day, but school's in session. February 10th is Ash Wednesday, but school again is in session. So I think that would be it. Any issues?
Does this timing still work for everyone? Like 7 o'clock and then 6 o'clock for,
Okay, if no, I mean, we can always change it with advance notice if we need to. So if we could have a motion to approve the schedule,
I'll motion to approve.
get a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, schedule set. And then lastly, we have to appoint an ISB governing board rep. This is at the annual conference where you go down, vote for the different ISB resolutions, which was me last year. I'm happy to do it again this year unless anybody really wants to.
We'd love for you to do it.
All right.
I'll nominate Board President T.R. Johnson.
All right.
I'll second.
Okay.
So in the resolution, it looks like we might need to have an alternative.
Who would like to be the alternate?
I'll be the alternative.
Okay, perfect.
Alternate, yeah.
All right, any questions? Anybody opposed to that? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's set. Next, we have our reports of the board committees. We'll just start at the end. Mr. Bookler?
Sure. So I had a chance to attend The Little Mermaid performed by students at Grove. I know Dr. Galini went as well, and Dr. Ashel went as well, so it was great. Phenomenal performance by the students. I know a ton of work went into it by Mrs. Harajan, Ms. Augustitis, and Mrs. Hake. It was just awesome. They had the photos of the kids on the wall. They had the programming, the concessions, the stage crew. I mean, it was a Broadway production. So it was fantastic. And thank you to those students and those teachers. I know Friendship also had a School of Rock performance, and I know that was a success as well. Mrs. Zomersky, Mrs. Grigonis, and Mrs. Listener helped run that show, and it was great. I know we saw a trailer by seventh grader JB that was emailed to all of us, so that was that was awesome. And so not only at our junior highs do we have theater going, but I know we've got one at Brentwood that's coming up on May 21st at 6 p.m. Finding Nemo, Mrs. Novak, Mrs. Engers, and I know some parent volunteers are helping out as well. So we're looking forward to that. And I appreciate Brentwood teacher Lisa Lang for letting the board know about the great work that's being done at Brentwood. So lots of theater going on in the district. So that's awesome. I did receive an email from Manuel, a seventh grader at Grove, and he said that Mrs. Hake should get a certificate for being a good teacher. So Maribel, I don't know if we could get a certificate, have Dr. Galini sign it, and then maybe we can have Manuel, the seventh grader, sign it as well. Yeah, and present it to her. That would be great. And then I had one other thing. As I know, all of us, we've had parents reach out to us about the bus. And just know that we're in the same boat as everyone else. We all have received, as parents up here, we've received text messages that there's not a bus driver. Now we found one, it's going to be 30 minutes late. So, we experience that frustration as board members as well. And I've had some people say, well, why did you hire this company? And this board, superintendent and business manager, we did not. And I remember watching the meeting as a community member, and there was a bus driver named Mr. Leiden. And he came up, he spoke to the board, and he said, do not approve the contract. He said they're not a good company, and he gave some reasons. So Dr. Sager, who's on the board, along with the other board members at that time, unanimously approved it. So if anyone has questions about that process or what went into it, feel free to contact Dr. Sager. He's on the District 214 board. And we really appreciate Mohsen and Dr. Galini for stepping into this situation and doing everything you can to somehow make it work. So thank you, and we appreciate it. And that's all I have today.
Thank you.
I also got to enjoy some theater over the past month with The Little Mermaid at Grove. My daughter was in my mic's on. I'm sorry. So Little Mermaid was wonderful, great sets, and I echo everything Ryan said about all of the staff there, just making it a big success. It was great. I also attended the School of Rock at Friendship. The the play that was during the day. And I think that all of their feeder elementary 5th grade classes were able to attend. And that was so fun. Interactive show. They had light up balloons that they put through the crowd, and the kids were, popping them over to each other. It was wonderful. And there were even some students on stage who were playing instruments while they were singing, and they were phenomenal. It was a great show. Very true to the movie, if you've seen with Jack Black. They did a wonderful job. It was wonderful. Also today, got to attend Battle of the Books final at Ridge. And we had a 4th grade team and a 5th grade team against each other. 5th grade ended up coming out on top. Sarah was there with me, and Ben was there too. And it was just great. I ran the book fair for years at Ridge, and I just absolutely love literacy, and it is super important that our kids are reading. So hearing them be able to retain information and answer questions that are hard. If you've ever done a Battle of the Books, they don't. It's not like it's teeny tiny details. It's nothing big. So for them to be able to remember that is huge. So congratulations to those kids. And also the retiree celebration that Ross hosted with some other ladies. I don't recall their names right now. I'm sorry. But they did a wonderful job hosting. And it was so fun to see everybody here. The room was full and full of love. And it was wonderful. So I hope all of our retirees maybe come back to sub. But also just enjoy their retirement because they have earned it tenfold. So, all right. Thank you.
Okay, tons of stuff to report this month. May is busy. D59 Foundation had their meeting and discussed their standard items, but the most exciting part is that they picked their scholarship winners. So we are hopefully going to get to see them next month. It's a great thing to see these volunteers talk about these alumni who are so wonderful and are really the best of our district, and these kids who we want to encourage to come back and give back to our community. So we are going to get to meet them next month, which is exciting. Earlier, we had the Discipline and Safety Committee, wonderful things going on with our SRO program. So thank you to the officers who are there tonight, our community members, and to Mr. Malik and Dr. Russell. Yes, Nicole mentioned the recognition and retirement celebration. Nicole was there, Michelle was there, I was there. It always makes me a little bit sad because we're saying goodbye to our master teachers, but I want to thank you so much for just giving so much of your lives to our children. Thank you to, Ridge, one of my adopted schools. Thank you to Mrs. Parrish, Mrs. Doles, and Ms. Marvuchek for having us at the 5th grade show. Nicole was there as well.
The 5th
yes.
grade show.
So I know it's like there's so much. Very cute little girl in a pig costume, I'll add. But they're a sweet group, the 5th graders. It's a nice final show for them before they head to middle school very soon. And last is Battle of the Books today. Congratulations to our 5th graders for their victory. And I think that is all.
Okay, so I'm not that busy, but I have to say, as a parent, I did go on the field trip at John Jay to feed my starving children, and I feel like every school in the district should go. Just watching these kids counting how many boxes and how many bags and everything, that was amazing. And I did go to the Holmes and all the feeders, the band concert, and that was great. Miss Hovland, you did a great job, and so did Miss D'Amico. So that was great. Let's go band. Let's do a little bit of that, watching you guys do it. That was great. So.
All right, so I'll go back to a few weeks ago. I had the privilege of joining Dr. Galini at a visit to John Jay. So thank you to Principal Tapia for hosting us and taking us to many classrooms, seeing lots of great things going on there. I also attended the retiree celebration and years of service celebration, so that was great. I connected with some teachers that I know that my kids had, and also Dr. Galini treated us to a nice tour of this building. Is that okay that I mentioned that? Because I just said, you know what, I've never really seen anything but the boardroom and your office, and so we got like kind of an ad hoc tour, and it's really a great building. Lots of great things. Lots of people working here. So that was that. And then today, I also had the privilege of visiting Frost School and Mrs. Glombicki's kindergarten 5th grade party. So for a whole period, students and their parents were invited And they had all these stations of really great, fun math activities. And I actually sat with a few of the students too. So that was a really, really nice treat. And then also got to participate in the teacher recognition. Do we have a name for that? What we recognize the first grade teachers, the ones that are.
Oh, that was, oh, sorry, that's partnership with DEA where Ann and I just go out and recognize teachers who are giving it all they've got in the last
Giving
couple
it
of
all
weeks
they
of
got,
school. Yeah, that's,
right.
I mean, that's
Surprise
a good
visits,
name,
right?
but yeah, and it's just that our teachers, it feels like the very first day of school in many of our classrooms, and we just want to take a little time out of the day to just honor and show solidarity between the work that we're doing and our union partners as well, to just say thank you to our teachers for their hard work.
Sure. And thank you for inviting me. I was there and they're like, hey, come along with us. So it was great to see. So nice day at Frost. And that's about it.
Thank you. So we have an informational item. It's just, I think everybody sees where they're signed up for the our graduation ceremonies. So just a reminder on that later this month. And then other than that, I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. I'll second.
Moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.